In this section, we're going to talk about Twitter and some of the main reasons you want to use Twitter. But before we do that, you got to make sure that you come up with a goal for your e-marketing campaign. You need to prepare your message. You need to design your brand around that. And you need to cross-promote a lot of those throughout the different social networks, including LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. But since we're sticking with Twitter, let's go ahead and log into Twitter real quick here. And we'll go ahead and log in there. Once we're in, you can see that I'm logged into my personal Twitter account here, which is the actual account for New Media Webinars. It's called New Media Dude. You can see the number of followers I have, the number of people I'm following, the number of tweets that have been tweeted so far. But what's important here is that we need to go into our profile and make sure that our profile reflects the information that we want to put out there to attract the right kinds of people. So the goal of the Twitter account for newmediawebinars.com or the New Media Dude Twitter account is to attract people that are interested in digital filmmaking and have them ultimately sign up in my newsletter on my website on newmediawebinars.com. That's the ultimate goal. So how do I do that? Well, there's a couple things you want to do. You want to make sure that your bio is set up correctly. You want to include as many keywords as possible that are informative but that attract the right kinds of people to your Twitter account. So for example, in mine we have tips and tricks, news, tutorials, podcast shows, and webinars for and by digital filmmakers working in film, video, and new media. So it's very important that I'm using these keywords here, film, video, and new media, and digital filmmakers, because as people are searching for content related to that, my content on Twitter will come up. And these are the kinds of people that I want to attract. So let's go into the settings of Twitter, and you can see right here a variety of information, right? From the username, which you can change, and I don't recommend that you change your username constantly, but you can definitely change it if you decide to focus your messaging more. For example, the username that I'm using is New Media Dude, and the reason I want to do that is because I want to attract people that are working in new media. Also, I didn't want to use the company name just because it's more personalized to use the person's name. And in this case, I have the persona of New Media Dude. However, people do know who I am because I put a real picture of myself, so never lie about who you are. Let's go into the profile here. And this is where you are able to put in your bio. So it's very important, like I said, make sure you use your keywords in your bio. Also make sure that you put in a web URL. This is extremely important because ultimately people will follow you and read your tweets, but ultimately you want them to go to your site. So when you click on here under web, it'll take you directly to my site where hopefully people will click on the newsletter sign up and they'll be able to sign up for more information. So that's key that you use that. Let's look at the settings. A couple of other things. What I do under design is I uploaded a background, a very simple background that has the name of the company with the URL. Since my name and the URL is the same, it works for me perfectly. For you, you might want to have the name of the company and then a URL. Now keep in mind, this is not clickable. However, it's important for people to know immediately what it is that you represent. So you can put some information on the left and you've seen that. Now don't go all crazy on getting a very extensive background and have people design it for you and spend a lot of money, because honestly, the background is the last thing that people check. The most important thing is the content that you put out. So that's really important to make sure that you put out content that attracts people as well. So we spoke about the profile and making sure that your bio is proper, so when people are searching, you attract the right kinds of people. Well, the other thing you need to do to attract the right kinds of people is the messaging that you put out. So what is it that you want to put out? Do you want to put out content about yourself and your expertise and your portfolio because you want to attract employers? Then go ahead and do that. Are you trying to attract clients for your projects? Then put out samples of your projects. Also put out tips and tricks. If, for example, you're a wedding videographer, you might want to put out, the top 10 video tips for your next wedding, and that'll attract the right kinds of customers.